Welcome to the table, the tap room of truth, where the keg of social commentary never runs dry and where every glass clinks with a deep conversation. This is the Real Shareholders podcast, Beer Parlour edition. My name is Waimi, your host, and I'm not alone today. As always, I have Malachi on my left, Ubang on my right, and on my far left over there, I have Diokwa. Once again, welcome to the podcast. Hi guys, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. And you?
I'm cold.
Hi, you sound hungry.
No, I sound cold.
He's hungry.
Sorry, I want to ask you guys a question. Why you guys always fighting?
It works.
What works?
I mean,
Our dynamic.
exactly.
It works. Just
wow.
Different
It works.
generations.
Ghana, so no one can interfere.
No, that's
no,
not
it
it.
just works.
One day we will know the truth.
The truth will set you free.
It works.
It is you that you set free. I'm free.
Okay, so let's run down to the back bar. Let's do a bit of a back bar briefing. Let's take a look at the news that did not make the news, because here in Nigeria, something is always happening and the news is always underreported. Gombe.
Yes.
This is still, at the time where we're recording this is still very much the
Fresh.
Easter season.
Yes, it is.
So happy Easter. Hopefully when this goes up, still within the Easter season.
Areas.
Yeah, happy Easter in areas. So Gombe, a so-called accident happened in Gombe.
But is it Gombe? It's not Gombe.
Gombe.
Okay.
Gombe. Gombe.
Gombe.
So sorry.
Gombe.
Thank you.
Well, so an accident happened in Gombe. I don't think it's an accident, because this accident, something like this happens every time it's a festive period, a
True.
Christian festivity going on, Christmas, Easter, something like that always happens. So this group of people were having a procession.
Christian.
Right. Yes, Christians, right.
Yeah.
Let's specify. Christians were having a procession and this truck just
Rammed into them.
ran into them. Just boom, like that. Now, what happened to your horn? You see a large crowd. So what happens to your horn? Why are you not horning to tell this large crowd they are not deaf? But instead you just did and you hit them. What happened to stopping? Right? Like, there's so many scenarios that just keep playing in my head, and that did not make the news.
Yeah.
It did not make the news. If you look closely at that video, you could see somebody stuck
Yes.
underneath the
truck.
tire. Now, why I say this is not a coincidence is because this happened in Kogi State, but this one was recorded at night time. So I'm assuming it happened at night. Let me
That's
just
two.
two. Right. Still
On the same day.
Yeah, same Easter day.
same Easter day. Let's just say, just for grace, let me just say 24 hours apart, but still within this happy Easter period. Still the same freak accident.
Yeah.
And in all of this, I don't see anybody being reprimanded. I don't see anybody saying, oh, this is the person that was handling this truck. But you can see dead bodies
Yeah.
and nobody's questioning it. So why is it that every time something like this happens during the festive period, it just goes hush hush? And why is it that this type of accident, this sort of so-called freak accidents happen whenever
During-
it's a festive, Christian festive period? 2 + 2 = 4, but I guess in this case 2 + 2 = 7 anyways.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
Maybe Ubong should help us.
so yeah,
How many
yeah.
people died?
5.
From there. Okay.
5 people
Gombe.
died in Gombe.
What of in Kogi? Do you know? how
So
many?
I didn't really
Delve into
get
that,
the,
yeah.
Okay.
the casualties for that, but people were injured there, and this is not the first time it's happening. It happened last year too, and so it's like they're targeting every other Easter, because Easter, aside from Christmas, is the time where they talk about the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So there's a lot of stories that happen within that time, and then Christians like to
Ignite their faith
reignite
and all
their
that.
faiths, doing the same stories. You see people carry the crucifix on their back. We see it everywhere. You see it in Lagos, we see it almost everywhere. And so these guys were going on a procession, a similar kind of procession, Easter Sunday being the resurrection. So it's like, oh, we are free, so let's go. And then this truck, as with the video, you can see clearly the truck just comes in, and it was intentional. So most times, a few other people have said, oh, it's an accident. I don't think it's an accident. It's an accident that's happened too many times, and it's a targeted accident. You understand?
Right.
So we have processions that happen in this country, whether it is traditional worshippers, Christians, Muslims, there's a procession they do.
The Shites, for example, the whole
for
procession
example,
every.
they also have processions that they do. And then we don't see this happening, and
These accidents.
people would say that they need the federal road safety they should have gotten people like that, but in those places, in those areas, right, these are areas that have predominantly Christian communities, right? And then those Christian communities don't see the need, because usually before you see FRSC in those communities, it's going to be very, very,
So these are rural areas.
Yeah.
rural areas. So you have a truck coming in and then just ramming into people. I think, again, it is terrorism. That's my own take.
Yeah. Speaking of terrorism, you guys have heard about Mahmuda, right?
Yeah, the new terrorist group.
Yeah. So remember the last time we were on this table, and even outside this table, I did say that terrorism in Nigeria is becoming very localized. So they will take up any name and any name that they want. So now we have Mahmuda. And before this Mahmuda, actually, when I raised it up on social media, somebody actually said before this one, there's one that starts with an L, like Krua. It starts with an L.
Yeah.
So by the time you do Mahmuda, that one I can't pronounce, Hunters in the south, east, southwest, south, because that's what they go by in the south, bandits, herdsmen,
Boko Haram.
So that's like 7 different names now, all doing the same thing. And it's just interesting that in Nigeria, these group of people are so bold to do an introduction. So they're telling you, hi guys, we're the new kids in
New kids on the block.
new kids on the block, which is very, very, very interesting to see at the very least. But
I think it happened in Kwara.
Right? Yes, Kwara.
whatever
Kwara, about,
whatever the case may be, I just find it interesting that a
Even parts of
terrorist
Niger.
group has the audacity to actually come out and say, we are the new guys in town, watch out. In a sane country, you wouldn't be so emboldened to do that.
And it didn't make the news, right?
It did not make the news. So if you're watching this, there's a bad wolf in town named Mahmuda. So add that to your list. There's a new guy that you have to watch out for.
I mean, what else can I say? Same thing happened in Kogi, right? Over the night cleans, Easter Day, right? And like we all know, no connections whatsoever, no names called, nothing, no drivers, the other. I mean, these same said people do not build churches in the middle of the roads. How then do they get rammed into? Do you get it? And those who even pray like on roads don't get rammed into a truck. So I mean, you can
Exactly.
draw your inference.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because they were not praying on the road, they were moving. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like they were static that you say, oh, they were moving. And that road is quite big. So it doesn't cost you anything
They're just
to
going to
just
the left.
to just move to the left, or at least hit your horn and they'll move. They're not
Yeah.
deaf. They're really not deaf, but again, 2 + 2 = 7 in this
And
country.
then if you know that recently the medical association, the midwifery and blah blah,
Yeah.
they came out with a news
Yeah.
saying that they would, although they put it somehow, they say they will continue to accept, which means they have been doing it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, because some people thought it's the first time.
I actually thought it was the first time.
No. They say, from what I read, when I saw the news flash,
Yeah.
I thought this was the first time. But then, when the registrar of the Nigerian Medical and Midwifery Association released a statement, he said that they will continue to accept Islamic and Arabic senior. The certificate is called Senior Islamic and Arabic Certificate.
Any idea how many years they use?
For nothing.
I don't know, but
No, for this to get the certificate.
to get
that's what I'm saying.
no, I don't know. But they said the federal government of Nigeria recognizes that certificate,
okay.
and that they have been doing that for many years.
But it's not even a scientific. I believe that if you're going to apply for nursing,
Now, surprisingly,
is it necessary?
what they said, what this registrar said,
Yeah.
is that certificate also encompasses these other subjects: chemistry, physics, biology, but that they study these things in Arabic.
Wait, hold on.
So it's not like
Hold on. So they wrote chemistry in
in
In Arabic.
Arabic.
They write biology in Arabic.
Arabic.
Yes. So
That's
that's why that they're not saying. So because I had to dig there, I had to search to find out why are they accepting this?
Okay.
So are you telling me that if I have only Igbo language, I should be accepted in? So but when I read it, so the guy had to explain. He said no. That what they meant is that they write these subjects in Arabic.
Okay.
So, but the fact that they write it does not in Arabic does not mean they are not science based. So that biology and all even English language and all the necessary subjects that you have to pass to be admitted in nursing school, they also write it in Arabic. So
Arabic.
that's the
Arabic
background
is a
of
language, actually.
So the Arabic is a language. It's not that anybody can study Arabic.
Okay, so basically their math, English, all of that are written in Arabic.
Yeah. Yes. So, but
Not bad.
but of course,
Yes.
people are jittery. You know that what.
Or maybe
what
it
does
was
mean and
maybe
all
that
How
news.
about this Arabic?
Perhaps that news was sort of misinformed or not properly
Yeah.
relayed. But when you put it like that, okay.
Wait, hold on. So if say I have my own reservation, maybe you can call me whatever. Please, how? So are you trying to tell me that Arabic countries like maybe Saudi Arabia? Let's talk about Saudi Arabia. They learn their what's it called? Science-based subjects
in Arabic.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely. Just like
It's
the
a
Chinese.
language.
Just like the Chinese
They
too.
use their language
Just like
to learn.
Chinese, yeah.
Just like
Yeah,
Chinese.
with the pinyin text.
And of course, people have even made the argument
there's
that
like there's numeral figures in
Yes, Arabic,
Yeah.
yes.
So they use their language.
I've
to
also
learn.
heard people make the argument that part of the problem we have in Nigeria in not learning is that we don't learn in our language. So that we learn most of these science-based courses in English, and
That can
then
be-
it can be lost on us.
Okay.
Potassium and calcium.
Yes.
There's the Arabic
There's an
format for
Arabic
it, yeah.
format.
Yes,
Are
yes.
you sure?
Well, if that is because potassium and calcium are all Greek, they're not even in anglicized or
That's
English.
what I'm trying to say.
So when you're saying potassium and calcium, there is a way they spell it in their own way
language.
that means potassium and calcium.
Yeah.
Just like the Chinese pinyin, and the Nigeria also has the Nigerian society or community also have like its own
So the
lettering
Chinese
system.
have a different version of potassium
Yeah,
and
it's a
calcium.
language
It's a
now.
word,
So
it's a
obviously
concept.
you
It's a
You
word.
can pass across that message in your own
Pardon me, it's a
testing and
word. So
lettering
it's
system.
like
Do you
it's
understand?
like how you say
So
come
you know
in your
Nigeria,
language.
Nigeria has like something called CBD. Just like the Chinese pinyin, their text and their font style. We
Yeah.
have ours as well, developed by the Ekpe Society. I mean, people from Akwa Ibom, a secret society.
I know
Yeah,
that. No, I know that. I'm just trying. I'm intrigued at what you just said. That
that's
the Arabic version of there's an Arabic
Potassium
version of
calcium.
potassium and calcium.
potassium calcium.
Well, why do you
is
find that
already
strange
a
then?
word.
No, because there is already a
Because
periodic loophole.
Okay, you are thinking about it in the periodic table.
So I'm thinking about it that there's already a periodic table, right?
What's
If you
the
did chemistry,
yeah?
if you did chemistry in school, there's already a periodic table,
Yeah.
right? So you mean that there's an Arabic version of the periodic table?
Is there an Arabic letter to represent the C letter, the English C letter? So if there is also that, is there an Arabic lettering system that represents 4 also in Arabic?
So
Yeah.
there are
So
all these things
basically,
like iron with FE. There is
Basically.
FE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
So
I'm done.
that's basically the news that
you
did
don't
not
believe-
make the news. Now you know a thing or two about Arabic. And if you're Arab or you learn in Arabic watching this, you can also chime into the conversation. Okay, let's go into the drafts and decrees, the political review, what has been happening in this country.
Yeah.
There's trouble in paradise, or should I say trouble in the villa, where Shetima came out to say that I'm still your VP. Nobody is taking me away.
Yeah. I wasn't blocked.
I wasn't blocked from going into the Aso Rock, the villa. My room is still there. I can still drive in and go out as much as I want. And the thing is, whenever news like this come out, you could just sometimes want to read it as sensational news. But if you know anything or two about these people, whenever they drop news like this, you cannot help but wonder.
especially the APC.
Especially with APC, it's kind of like APC. They have this thing of if they come out to deny it, it's
Something
true.
is cooking.
So what is cooking in Aso Rock? What's happening with Tinubu and his deputy? Why did Babashir Lawal call him a spare tire? So he's not just
tire, not spare. Flat.
flat. Okay, they called him a flat tire, spare tire, but he's not even the active tire.
Yeah.
So in this vehicle, he's not even the tire that moves the car. So he's just, for lack of better words, useless. Interesting because Babashir Lawal is calling him a spare tire, and I remember when Shetima called Osibanjo ice cream vendor. Like clockwork, anyways. But yeah, but yeah,
So
just
I have something to butt in there because we all know that Tinubu was not, what's the word now, has not been exactly very close with his deputies. In Tinubu's 8 years as governor in this state, in Lagos State, in Lagos, right? He had 3 deputy governors.
Oh wow.
Yes, he had 3. He had Senator Koforola.
Yeah, no
Buckner.
Kofo.
Then he had Femi Pedro.
That's the one I saw the
Then
name.
after Femi Pedro, there was another one because he had a problem with Femi Pedro, and Femi Pedro had to leave in the.
Femi joined the Labour Party back then.
Yeah.
But I can't remember
during the
whether
last
he was
days.
replaced.
But my point is that my chairman has a problem with VPs.
Your chairman.
Yeah, now
I
you're
mean-
gonna.
What do you mean by that? I mean,
Work with
he's
you.
the president of the country. So what do you want me to call him?
He's the president, not my chairman.
Okay, all
not
right. So the president has a problem with his VPs. Thank you for correcting.
Yeah.
And I think that problem has
I think
transcended.
he's consistent.
beyond,
If this news is true, then he's
Lagos,
consistent
yeah?
with his
Which
problem.
is what-
Better.
with his person, because the truth is, we have not seen the VP, right, chair a federal executive council meeting.
Even in his absence. Even in Tinubu's absence.
I mean, we saw people say Oshibajo's hands were tied. I don't know, but then we saw Oshibajo at least once or twice.
It was very
chair-
visible.
Yeah, you
shared
knew who your
meeting.
deputy was.
He could
Or
chair
VP,
that
pardon
FEC.
me.
Yeah.
And then there was a time Buhari was, AWO for like 3-4 months, and then
Yes.
Oshibajo was even appointing people. I know that at least he had the powers to appoint. And then when that chairman came back, sorry to use chairman again, but when he came back, that's Buhari, he reversed the appointment.
Yeah, like when Osibajo removed the DG of SSS.
Yeah.
Exactly. So some things like that. You could see that the VP was also exercising his powers. In this case, I don't know, apart from going for some burials and
Yeah,
Weddings.
wedding, I'm not sure I've seen
Well,
Fatima
since
Adventure.
Tinubu has a track record of if he doesn't vibe with you as his second in command, he's going to take you out. Then, if something like this happens, then it shouldn't be news to
There's
us.
also news that he would like to
Replace the guy.
replace, now. He would like to
So,
replace the guy in
nothing-
2027.
They're even mentioning
Nothing to see
Ganduje.
They're
in the
mentioning
picture.
Ganduje. No, I'm hearing Dogara. I'm hearing Dogara.
Yeah, there are a lot
Just to
of
balance.
names.
He has a,
Yeah.
this ticket is not really, working.
MMN.
I
Is
think
MMM.
These
So
guys,
he's
these
trying
guys you
to get
mentioned that
into the-
these guys you mentioned that they Muslims or Christians.
No, Dogara is a Christian from the Middle Belt. So he wants that, he's from Bauchi. So he wants that Middle Belt
Block vote.
block votes.
So
I think-
MM ticket in the mud then.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. So still on the drafts and decrees where we review the political space. It seems like all the gist and information we're getting this week is from Aso Rock, Aso Villa. Point is, a lot is going on there because it says a lot when the villa is buying solar panels.
Yeah,
Solar panels, and it's interesting because I remember in their manifesto they said they would tackle electricity. So it's quite disgraceful when the house that houses the 001 of this country is using solar panel. So it's also kind of like, well, you guys too, we're also suffering the same problem. So it's insulting to Nigerians when you have the resources, the means, the technical know-how to actually get power, stable power supply, but you don't want to do it. But instead you want to spend, 10
billion.
10
yeah.
billion. 10 billion is a lot of money on solar panels. It's embarrassing.
Billion could build it down from scratch to finish.
Do you understand? So
Yeah.
that money that you're using
Build
to
down, an actual dam from scratch
yeah,
to finish.
so that money that you're using to buy solar panels, right? What would happen if you invest that money into electricity? Instead of this band A, B, C thing that we're doing that we don't even see the benefit of being on band A, you still don't have 24/7 power supply.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And, sometimes when they make the decisions they make, you wonder where the inspiration is coming from.
Yeah.
Now, these are people who told us that PDP is a failure.
Yeah.
We are coming to change things
That's all.
and all that. Now you come in. Do you know that between 2015 till now, APC has not built one power plant?
Can you imagine?
But every day the national grid
And if you
falls
know
off.
how much they claim to have spent on power,
Yep.
you will be shocked.
All right.
Now, not even 1 megawatt has been added to our power generating capacity since
It's a
then
minister of power.
in 10 years. Now we don't have this band A, band B, blah blah blah. And now every Nigerian will tell you that as far as power supply is concerned, things has gotten worse for them.
Yes.
Where I live, 2 or 3 years ago, at least every day, I was sure of, I don't want to exaggerate, I was sure of 11, 12 hours of power supply.
Can you imagine?
Guaranteed. There's no story about it, except maybe the transformer has issues and all that. But now, I can't boast of 3 hours.
Can you imagine?
Now, even on, I had to even put out a tweet the other day, even on Easter Day,
You didn't have light.
no light, no power supply.
It was poor.
So that's it. And then you now tell us that. So that means it has also, what we're experiencing has also hit the villa in the sense that power supply is very poor there. Maybe that's why they're now looking in the direction of the solar. And then what it also means is that we should all be worried.
Yeah.
If they are going in that direction, then how can me and you, and then this
And
solar
you know,
we're
the
talking
crazy thing is
about.
solar is expensive, so how can the everyday
Yeah,
Nigerian have?
So there's my perspective to it. Firstly, when APC came, I think it was last 2-3 years, they said they had a Siemens deal. Remember the Siemens
Yeah,
deal?
yes.
That we're going to have power and all of that. Power will come. Now the Siemens, that means what they are saying is, in essence, is that the Siemens deal is
Sure banker.
no. It was sure banker for them. But right now that they have gone to switch to solar panel, they are trying to tell us that the Siemens deal
It's out of it.
is out of it. It's not working, Baba. So Mokuna find it that way. That's one.
Let me also sit
Hold
there.
on, now that's one. Two. Then there's the fact that they came up with the band like you said, band A, band B, band C, right?
Bandits. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So now it shows clearly, right, that the band A thing is a scam, is a
The
clear
fast.
scam, because Asu Rock should be band A or band A's.
Yeah.
If there's a 1% of 1% in power, it should be Asu Rock. It should be lacking. But then there is no power. That's why they are switching to alternative sources.
Yeah.
To buttress that, they brought out what's it called, a picture. Bayo Nanuga brought out a picture or a video of
The White House.
right, showing the White House with solar panels.
Yeah.
Now, at least in America, Americans can boast of 24 hours light.
Yeah.
You are bringing solar panels to show us. We can boast of 24 hours light. You can even boast of 24 hours light. How are you now telling us that this developed country has it, we should have it too? I mean, that is not a yardstick. That's my perspective to this issue.
Right.
What of the 10 billion itself that they budgeted? Is it justifiable?
On what grounds?
Because 10 billion can actually power all federal medical teaching hospitals
Yes,
in
and
Nigeria.
State institutions.
All
That's it.
federal medical.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot
The-
of money.
The fact that we throw around figures in Nigeria, after a while, it makes you start assuming that,
becoming
these monies
mathematician.
are small. 10 billion naira
It's a lot of money.
today is still a lot of money.
Right.
So he was saying something. He said the Aso villa should be the band A of the band A, 0.01% of the 0.001%, right? But this goes to showing a long way how dysfunctional these people are, right? So for an instance, even your own home, primarily to you, is not put in order. How much of our own individual interest as a society can we entrust on you guys?
Yep.
So much so you now need to budget 10 billion naira on your own electricity, then 14 billion naira on furnitures.
Right. And then spend a lot of
I
money
mean,
on
you're not going
that.
to solve electricity in another 20 years.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. You're saying
It is
I'm,
not possible.
I'm
for
off
them.
the grid,
They
though.
can't see it.
I'm off the grid.
Find
You
your-
people find your own way. Be off the grid. And to
Why?
buttress it, they have now gone ahead to ban the importation
Of solar.
Solar.
panels.
Yeah.
That it is confusing.
Ridiculous. Electricity in Nigeria is privatized. Don't forget.
Yes.
So this also stipulates or goes to a large, because anything that goes to the privatized sector or commercialized sector means that the everyday human is going to be overcharged. For them.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys can't buy into the private companies you are sold these things to, how much more the everyday human?
Right. So, anyways, let's cool it down. Basically, that's the alpha, omega. That's a lie. To be very honest, if we want to start doing the alpha and omega of political reviews, drafts and decrees in Nigeria. We would not go anywhere, but this is enough to get people to start thinking in the right direction and start asking their electorates the right questions. 10 billion naira. Why 10 billion naira? Why can't you use this to
Do something.
do
else.
something else? All these questions. I do hope when people watch this, they start to think in the right direction. Anyways, you know how we do on this podcast. The table is about to increase in number. Somebody's going to be here very soon, either on my left or on my right, and we're going to deep dive into a different conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe as you watch the show. The table is bigger because we have someone by my left-hand side, someone who's very interesting. He's been an OAP, the Labour Party spokesperson. He runs Effective Film.
Exactly.
And he's an all-rounder. He's a well-grounded politician, entrepreneur. You know what? Let me stop and just let him do his own introduction because I don't feel like I'm doing enough justice. With me here is the one and only Ife SALAKO. Hi, Ife.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ife. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on the table.
Yes.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good.
Happy Easter in areas. It's still the
Oh, yes,
festive season.
That's
Yeah.
true.
We're still celebrating
So-
the resurrection of the Christ.
The everyday life of a politician. I
Yeah.
can call you a politician, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, sure.
Okay,
yeah,
I will
yeah.
call you a politician.
But I just I like to also mention that I'm not the regular Nigerian politician.
You're an orthodox.
You're not a career politician.
I'm not a career politician.
So that's why I think
For now.
I mean, for what it's worth, I've won contested for House of Rep, and whilst we were at it, some of the supporters. I have a restaurant, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's the name of the restaurant, please?
It's called Amalai Badon.
Yes.
you're hot.
But Ife, you never see me become your
I
restaurant.
have.
Is it in Lagos?
Yes, I have 7 of them.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
The franchise.
We are getting hosts. Subscribe.
Please, you see, our table is empty. But we can do with some shaki and some bokoto, you know.
Absolutely.
I didn't
yeah.
know you were in the
Yeah, so,
hospitality.
Space. Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say that, some of the supporters got to the store, someday, and I was like, Baba, Moku begin eat Amala. I was like, hold on, this is my business. I want to do politics. And when I'm done with politics, I want to return to my business. So
Fantastic.
I'm not going to mix it at all. So let's go.
impressive.
If I have the money, I will buy the food for us. We can eat outside. But this one, no. It's not going to be used for campaign.
That's impressive.
Impressive. You have a very distinct life. Your personal life and business, political life are quite distinct.
Yeah,
That's nice.
it's what it is. So I like to be seen as a politician, but not the regular Nigerian politician.
Not bad. Okay, so how did it start out for you before Labour Party? I mean, I sort of knew you when you came into Labour Party, but Labour Party is not your first rodeo, so let's do a quick rundown of that.
Okay, so year 2020, I was. We all were part of the protest and all.
That's the NSAS, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the one that happened at Isheri,
Okay.
which is where I live. And then we were all out, and after the shooting at the Lekki toll gate, the following day, some guys were going to attack the police station. The area commander called me. I was like, I heard some guys are coming here, so I went to stop the guys and all, but the guys were trying to be adamant, so they were approaching the station, and fortunately I had crossed. There's a big roundabout at that Isheri, so I had crossed to the other side with some guys who were there, and before we knew it, they started shooting, from
Who was shooting?
the police, of course.
Police. Okay.
And in a split of second, the guy that was beside me went down.
Oh, wow.
He had been hit by the bullets, on his stomach, and we had to rush him and all. And in the process of taking him to the hospital, it was like some kind of veil was removed from me. I became fearless.
Oh, like your Eureka moment.
So yeah, you get so and it was I saw the interview of Mr. Macaroni.
Oh yeah,
recently, and he was talking about when he was arrested and molested, and that moment he realized that he was not scared of anything anymore.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So it was that moment for me, and then I said to myself that look at me here protesting. I could have died, and nothing would have happened. And so the protest would not even bring the kind of results and the kind of progress that I wanted for the society. What would bring it, whether we like it or not, is politics. Politics is everything.
I say it every time.
Politics is everything that concerns us. So politics is so powerful that politics is stronger than religion.
I say it every time.
Yeah. So I'll cite an example of that. In that same year, 2020, when there was COVID, right, politics said to our imams and our pastors to lock the churches.
Yeah, and they did.
And they locked the churches. We were all home. We couldn't go to church. We couldn't go to mosque, right? So politics is that powerful. If you make your personal money and you think, oh, I have money and, you know, what's my business? Politics will ridicule that money in your bank.
We say that all the time.
You have, for example, in 2022, you had worked for maybe 5 years. You had saved probably 30 million naira, right, in the bank. It's there. You're hoping to save more.
I know, good.
In 2022, you have that money. Today, right, that's your 30 million naira that you had in the bank is now worth just about $1 million naira, if not less. Yeah. About 10 million naira,
10 million less,
rather,
yes.
if not less. What it means is that no matter how you want to look at it, politics will affect you either positively or negatively. So we all have to get involved. So that moment I said to myself that no, I can't just continue to protest. I have to get involved. I have to go into this politics and try to do it in a different way compared to the way we've seen it. So it was that revelation moment for me that yes, it's no more protest. It has to be politics.
So that's where, that's your origin story and an ideology came from that.
Yes.
You do have an ideology, right?
Oh, my ideology is that politics is about human lives. It's not a game of numbers.
Okay, so that's your personal ideology.
Absolutely.
Okay, every human being should have a personal ideology.
Yeah.
Now, when we take out the individuality from it, right? Do you think Nigeria has a political ideology?
Nigeria
or Nigerian politics or political parties, right? I think that's the word.
I think right now there is nothing like political ideology in Nigeria. It used to be in the days of the NCNC and you could see that they had some direction at which they were going with their plans and they were following it through, right? But now, it became politics became a thing of
selfish interest and ideology.
Pretty much just come in and do whatever you can and just tell as much lies as you could and just get out. That's what it is. And that ideology has been, driven into the minds of some people now. They don't even believe in anything. So when someone like a Peter Obi is coming to say that this is the pattern, this is the way we need to go, this is a clear way for us to do this thing, the regular Nigerian politicians don't believe in. Their followers who have been brainwashed to believe that there can be political ideology will not believe him. They would rather say, oh, get that thing, just have five governors with you, or 10 governors, just have this number of senators, have this, once you have these people supporting you, you would win election. So politics in Nigeria became a means to win election. And not a means to make the life of the people better.
All right. So, sorry if I can butt into the conversation. So, what you're saying is that the PDP, right?
Yeah.
The APC.
Yeah.
You're in the Labour Party, right?
Absolutely.
At least for now. I had to add that because things are happening every day. So,
There's a coalition.
Exactly. So,
Are you sure the coalition is coming?
let me get back to my question. We'll get there. But let me get back to my question. So, are you saying that the political parties we have right now do not have ideologies? They are not? Let's say they are not. They are not left or right. Like we have in
US,
the US and other countries. Yeah, they're not conservative. They're not liberals.
They're not. See,
so it is just no. I'm still coming. So it is just a fusion of people coming together to say, okay, let's just let's be a party to rule over these people. We don't have an ideology. We don't know whether we are capitalists. We don't know whether we are socialists. We don't know which one we are. That way you're saying the three parties are just existing.
see, I would tell you for, all it's worth, including the Labour Party right now. I mean, it doesn't seem like there is a particular party that has a clear ideology to how this, politics is meant to be played.
Okay.
A typical example, we had a National Assembly where the president of this country went to, and every representative there stood up and was chanting the campaign's slogan of the president.
On your mandates we shall stand.
But are you sure everybody did it?
Literally almost all of them.
When it's predominant amongst the collective, then it's everyone. It's not segregated.
You get. But let me draw your attention to something I saw. Trump went to, the US Congress.
Yeah.
At every point in time where he was making his presentation, the Republicans will stand up and clap and yell and all the Democrats sat down.
Fair, that's true.
See, it was a divided house. I mean, they had a way, they sat in a way that the Republicans went, if you're facing the house, the Republicans went to the left.
Yeah.
But for me now, it will be to the right, and the Democrats went to the left.
Yes,
Left
and he
is
was
on
just
the right.
Every Republican at every point in time, they will stand up and every Democrat sat down all through, and they were booing him when necessary.
Yeah.
They had an idea, have a roadmap that they were following. Trump does not fit into that ideology.
Fair.
And so, but we have a set of people who would go to the assembly, and then because the so-called president is there, everybody must worship him. So we have this ideology, this mentality rather, of a monarchical system that we are using to practice democracy.
Okay.
So we bring in.
So you kind of like monarchy. That's what you're saying.
So it is Yoruba now.
Yeah. So
You cannot stand before the Yoruba. You have to prostrate. You have to.
That's how it is. In Nigeria, right?
In Nigeria.
Okay.
So and so we have this. So we bring in, and then this is a democratically elected officer, and then these people still worship him as though he is some king from one kingdom that cannot be questioned. Because in Yoruba, you see,
colonial mentality.
Maybe
or a military. Is it because we are, we just came out from, autocracy like 24 years ago or 26 years ago? Is it a hangover from the military? Because sometimes when you look at it, these people in the APC, for example, would say that they are more socialist driven, right? That their policies are more, because you look at their policies also, their policies are more socialist driven. Then you could say that the PDP,
like
at least
money,
you get, they like to share money. Let's feed. Right now they are even trying to feed school children, but you won't have that in Jonathan's time, which was a bit more capitalist.
Jonathan fed school children in the north. Jonathan fed the Almajiris. Jonathan
especially
had,
caters to the upper, especially
some schools that for them. See, I'm telling you, there is no clear ideology right now
in Nigeria,
in the Nigerian politics.
But sorry, sir, APC calls themselves the progressives. Don't you feel, when you look at them, do they have any progressive agenda?
So, somebody mentioned.
I don't know. I try to drink my beer in peace. I just go beg.
Let me tell you how progressive you are. Somebody mentioned that the Aso Rock.
Yes.
has now been they are planning to power Aso Rock, with solar.
Yes,
That will cost us 10 billion naira.
Yeah.
And to justify this,
It's already approved anyway.
yeah, Bayo Ononuga, tweeted that the
White House.
the White House
I saw it.
is using, so understandably so. But let me draw your attention to something. The US that you are talking about, US is generating 1.1 million megawatts of power.
Really?
Google it. 1.1 million, not 1,000, not 10,000, not 100, 1.18 something million megawatts
Of electricity.
of electricity. As at 2015, when this same progressives
yes.
were going to take power, Jonathan was generating about 6.2
Yeah.
megawatts.
Yeah.
Today, first, the progressives brought it back to 4,000.
Yeah.
And as of today, we're about 5,000.
Yeah.
How progressive is that?
It's progression. It's progression in
What is the ideology of
it's,
an average
it's progression. It's progression in a backward way, but I mean it's still progression if you look at it. It's still motion.
That?
It's
We
motion.
were far better, in terms of poverty rating,
Yeah.
but in 2015 than we are today.
Okay.
We were our GDP, right, was over 500 billion
Yeah.
in dollars. In 2015, we're struggling to hit 300 billion right now.
We are the fourth largest economy in Africa.
Right. We slid from the third
First,
largest.
from the
We
first.
went from first in 2015 to third, and now we have slid to the fourth.
And Algeria is ahead of
Oh, gee, I tweeted that other African countries are leaving us behind,
Yeah.
and they wanted to hit me raw. They're saying that they are not as rich as Africa, as Nigeria. They are this, they are that. Okay, but what about the ones that are taking over gradually? They are leaving us
That's a
behind.
fair point. That's a fair point.
We are not progressing. These people are not progressing. They are retrogressing in nature and in everything.
Alright. So
The figures are there to prove it.
So if you think that we do not have an ideology, why then do you have all of the defections right now? Right?
Yes, what is behind
Happening. So if we agree we do not have an ideology, but then why are political politicians themselves, right, defecting today? As of today, we know that the Delta State governor, right,
Sheriff.
and former governor, whether the governor right now is taking the burden, right, from Okowa. He is defecting. Him, Okowa, everybody
House
from
of
ward
Assembly.
level, House of Assembly, House of Rep, everybody is moving to the APC. We have people from my states, Umoeno, right, is alleged
Akwa Ibom.
from Akwa Ibom,
Pastor
who is-
Umoeno.
please,
He's a pastor.
who is alleged to also be moving to the APC.
You want to steal his pastoral
No,
title?
I mean,
We have to include pastors. What it is worth.
Exactly.
so my point is, if that is the case, why are these people, if they do not have an ideology, then why are they moving to a one-party state, for example, right now? Is it because the APC is offering something better than they can get? Because they are already governors. What do they stand to lose? You know?
Continuity.
What do they stand to? No, I mean they have almost the security vote and every other thing
Continuity.
to get
They get the same
to
allocation.
get the same allocation, to
everything.
get
Structures are changed.
second term.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
What do they have to lose? Why are they moving?
It is because you don't you guys kind of overrate these people. These Nigerian politicians, governors, senators, you guys overrate them. See, these are people who don't even believe in electoral system.
Okay.
Most of them don't believe. I say emphatically, they don't believe
In the electoral system
in
that
the
brought them
electoral
in.
system that brought them into the office.
Okay. That's a new one.
Oh no, it's not new. They bribe their way They literally pay delegates to get the tickets.
Okay.
They pay everybody to vote for them, right? They buy literally everything. They bribe INEC officials to get. They literally, monetize the process.
Okay.
So they now have somebody at the top whose ideology connects with their own.
Mirrors them, right?
They will go to him. Why would someone like me say that I would stand and support Peter Obi any day, anytime? It's just one reason. He is the only politician that I know as of today that is not greedy.
Okay.
Peter Obi is the only politician that I know in Nigeria today that I know that is not greedy.
Okay.
Almost every other politician, they are driven by greed, by selfish interest. So these people are going now. There is a subtle narrative that is going on. They are looking at it that, this person in office now, like, he's going to do everything. He's going to rig. He's going to do all of these things to win election.
To win the re-election.
Come 2027, and because they too don't believe that they can actually win election by, so they would want to. It is a case of awurawo. That's how we say it in Yoruba.
What does that mean?
When the cult member finds a cult member,
fair. Now my guy, blood to blood.
So they are doing these things because they don't believe in the system. They are just driving themselves. So to me, for every average Nigerian, right, it doesn't drive anything for me. It doesn't make anything because if anything at all, Peter Obi has been able to prove to us that these people are worthless.
Fair.
Yes. I mean,
but we
all
have
the states.
But
hold on.
There
there is the belief that if a governor of a state is supporting a particular candidate, the state, the presidential candidate is likely to win the election of that state. Peter Obi won that many states in Nigeria. Not one of the, including this Lagos.
Yes, fair.
Not one of the governors was in support of Mr. Peter Obi. Did the Nigerians understand what this means? Did they understand that it is the people
who run train,
right, who determines this?
Fair.
And all these people, all these defecting from one party to the other is worthless.
But we've also had, hold on, that's why I wanted to pause you there, because we've also had, we know that Peter Obi presently is in the Labour Party.
Yes.
And we know that Labour Party is engulfed in a lot of tussles right now.
Yeah.
Right? But we've also had defections from the Labour Party, where if they believe in the ideology like you do, right, of Peter Obi, they're still defecting to the APC.
Yes.
Please, are they not seeing what Peter Obi, who Peter Obi, like you say, is? Are they not seeing that, or is there something different?
So Peter Obi brought about 6 or so senators.
Yes.
And,
they rode on his wave anyway.
A number of House of Rep, to
I think about 30 something House of Rep.
to the National Assembly.
Yes.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth, a whole Jesus, dined with just 12 people. One of them sold him for 30 shillings.
and people had also defected from the
I'm not talking
APC
about people
out of
defect-
the APC to other parties.
If
So it's a thing of political interest.
everybody who won on the Labour Party ticket, right, if they defect to APC, I would not be surprised.
But we have defections in Lagos. You're the spokesperson for Lagos State.
Yes.
We have
Labour
defections
Party.
in Lagos State. Labour Party defection.
You are still, am I the person? Am I the Judas? You are talking of, see, look, you can't hold this, you can't hold these people. They wrote, so this is what happened. Peter Obi went to Labour Party, right? His ideology, his personality was made open to people. People saw that, for the first time we had a governor who was a governor of a state for 2 times, and he was leaving office, and he was offered a bounty, what's it called
Retirement
now?
plan.
Retirement plan of about 700 million, which he turned down. I mean, that is enough to tell you that this person, there is something about
That
him.
substance.
You get so it's somebody that was offered the land. He said, "No, what do I want to use it for?"
Like an oil block in
Oil block. He turned it down. Shouldn't that tell you that there is some? How many people can do it? Not a lot of people. I am not surprised that people are leaving Labour Party to go to anywhere they have to go to. They rode on the popularity of Peter Obi, not like they understood the ideology of Peter Obi or they bought into the same ideology. They just rode on the popularity of Peter Obi to get the ticket, and that is why even Peter Obi himself had to say it recently that look, anybody who is not truly committed to the party is not going to because he had seen it too.
Yeah, okay.
He has
That's
seen
like
it.
an eye opener for him.
It's an eye opener for him too. So it's not for me. It is not a surprise. They are mostly opportunists
Okay.
who got this thing.
Sorry, sir. Now that you've mentioned Peter Obi, the popular comedian Sheyi Law, very popular, top guy,
Comic reliever.
an influencer.
He's your friend, though. He's your friend.
My very
He's your
sister-
friend, though.
my friend, though.
He's your
Also,
friend.
I don't understand why he was somehow. I just saw his tweet. Sorry, I saw his tweet randomly on Twitter one day, and he was insulting me. I was like, and I didn't even understand. I had to tell him, "Okay, you have my number now.
He's your
Call me,
friend.
let's talk."
More like he asked a question. He's your friend.
An
Go ahead.
influencer and all that. And he said recently on a podcast that no matter what Peter Obi does, no matter what Peter Obi says, no matter how we praise him, no matter how people like you say that this guy is the real deal, that he can never, ever be on the same boat with Peter Obi. Now, when you hear people like that say these kind of things, what comes to your mind? What do you think?
But
just to portrait, he said that is because of
Yes,
obedience.
that's what I was saying.
Like
Because of what?
obedience.
Yes.
That they cursed him out, they did all that.
That they attacked him
That's
and all
why.
that.
So because of that, that is
That he will never.
yes, that is why.
So should I say something, Waimi? Or maybe our guest should go ahead with the answers.
Let Ife talk. Let's hear Ife.
Oh, okay. So it's a simple thing. Everybody has the right to support whoever they want to support.
Fair.
And it doesn't take anything away from even the person that you are not supporting. It's a case of Nigerian, we have this mindset of if you ask me for a favor and I refuse to do it for you, you would think that maybe something bad will happen to me tomorrow. It's a lie. Tomorrow you will still be there, I will still be higher again. Don't go and watch
Nollywood stories,
and
right?
use that to judge you real life.
Yeah, fair.
Now, if we now look at the reason why Sheyi Law said he's not going to support Peter Obi, let's look at the reason, and that's why I would like to. Why? Because some obedience, which I cannot even deny, insulted him, insulted his wife, insulted his children, and that's all. That's why he said he has vowed never to support Peter Obi, but he's supporting Tinubu, right?
Wholeheartedly.
Yes, but then let me tell you what Tinubu supporters do. In my local government in Alimosho, when they had a primary, right, Tinubu supporters hacked people. They killed them. They
APC
butchered.
primaries?
Yes.
Okay.
In Alimosho, they butchered people to death. The supporter of the person that Sheyi Law is saying that he is not going to support because some people
Insulted
there is no me that I'm sitting here. There is nothing they've said to Sheyi Law that they've not said to me. They wished me death.
Yep.
Because I am supporting Peter Obi, they've called me bastard.
That's as a Yoruba man, right?
Yes.
I've seen some of them even attack your restaurant.
They even went to my restaurant to take pictures and posted it online to attack. They attacked my means of livelihood.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I didn't see that. Oh.
But you see, let me tell you, that will not be the reason I will never support Tinubu, because these are just riffraffs. These are, low level thinking people who does not understand, the life beyond, maybe ethnical or just some. So I can't take it out on them.
Okay.
I will never support Tinubu, never, because I believe in conscience.
Okay.
I believe in humanity.
So Tinubu doesn't have humanity.
I will get
He
there.
doesn't have
Okay,
conscience.
I will get there. No, I will explain what I'm saying.
Because this
I will
beard knows the
explain what I'm
entire way, I
saying,
hear
so.
you.
I believe in conscience. I believe in humanity. All of us sitting on this table, at some point in our lives, people would have come to us to come and get our hands involved in something that is illegal.
Fair.
At some point. And you would have turned it down. Somebody would have said, to you one day that I get drugs connect to make more do ammo. You say, no drug, I no fit to. Do you know why? Because you have conscience. There is a moment you get to. People who get involved in armed robbery, when they want to recruit them, they don't get to agree probably instantly. They will tell the guy will say, no, I'm robber, I cannot do it. He will get home, he will look at the ceiling, he will look at everywhere, he will say, he will call them back.
Maybe.
You know what has happened at that moment?
Yeah.
He has lost his conscience.
Lost his humanity.
He has lost his humanity.
Fair.
And that's why he can get involved in that. It is a clear fact that Tinubu got involved in drug dealings.
Wow.
And at the moment where he decided to take those monies into his custody, he lost his conscience at that time. And he can never ever be a man that would have conscience, that would have the
human side of him.
human part of him. Empathy, that's what I was looking for. The empathy to care for the people. And so when I'm sitting here now to say that I can never support Tinubu, it is based on Tinubu's personality. It is based on Tinubu's character. It's not about his followers.
Other people, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's
Tell me what Peter Obi has done wrong to you, Sheyi Law.
Fair.
Don't tell me about the supporters that are insulting people. They insult everybody.
I mean, Debo came out to
Even
also
the
say,
supporters of the person that you are supporting,
exactly.
are doing worse. They are killers.
I agree.
And you're telling me that you don't support Peter Obi because his followers are insulting you.
Didn't
It's
Peter Obi
insults that we used to play even in secondary school.
gets
Your mama, your papa.
So he's not supporting because of
that's
mama,
why you
papa.
say you're not supporting.
Exactly,
I beg
exactly.
you should go and sit down.
And the thing
But
about
wait,
this-
hold on. What did he tweet at you? Because you said he tweeted at you.
I don't know.
Just that he doesn't know that he didn't bother
I didn't even know where
to.
he came from.
He finds it inconsequential.
Somebody it was even in Yoruba. He just
That he tweeted at you?
Yes, now. IFE SALAKO olórí burúkú olórí. I was wondering.
Wait, was there any prior? Because I know you must have had a relationship with him before.
I don't
Any-
even know why he did that thing.
You sure?
Out of the blue, apparently. Okay, so there was maybe a lot of them took the video I did to Professor Wole Soyinka. They took it personal.
Okay.
Video.
Oh yeah, I
There's a
did.
video of you.
Yeah, and so right after the election,
Yeah.
Professor Wole Soyinka was granting interviews.
Yeah, he was. I
all
remember.
over everywhere.
He was all over.
Yeah.
Like every other day.
Yeah, he was.
And at all of the interviews, Baba was attacking obedience, calling obedience narcissist, fascist. Thank you. Calling obedience
people
fascist,
calling himself
Bajwe.
Yeah, I think he coined that phrase.
He was the originator.
For the
of that.
APC
Bajwe.
supporter till today to be calling Peter Obi Bajwe.
He's from
It was from Professor Wole
that's
Soyinka.
That's a shame.
Bajwe is like a 419.
A fake.
A fake.
Agba
So
He's a Nigerian word.
I'm enjoying your conversation. Go ahead.
So, and at the point, see, what a lot of people don't know is that I studied theater arts
Okay.
in school.
Okay.
And in my
That's
circle,
the effective film.
yes. And in my circle, Wole Soyinka is a demigod.
He's almost everything.
The kind of courage it took me to make that video, they cannot understand it. But there is a point at which you get to. Sir, this was at the time that dollar has started nosediving under this administration.
Naira.
The economy, Naira rather, was nosediving. The economy was already looking like nothing is, going to work.
Yep.
Inflation
Was going out of the
Yeah,
roof.
I remember.
And all of this.
It's still like that. What do I mean? I remember.
I see that it has started at this
Yeah.
time.
We have now
Yeah.
adjusted to
Yes.
it now.
Professor Wole Soyinka was asked at the time that this and this and this are happening. He had said at the time that he was going to wait for
Till 1 year.
100, 1 year.
1 year.
Before he would say anything, which he had not done. It's almost 2 years now.
2 years now.
He said we can't force him.
So that aside, but I don't have a problem with that. But you are not saying anything about the one that is your friend, who is already destroying the nation. But you were talking at every of those interviews. He was talking about obedient Peter Obi.
But Peter Obi was, hold on, I want you to continue. But Peter Obi was not the only person that contested the election.
My brother.
Why did he not attack Atiku?
My brother.
Who came second, actually?
See, they had never the establishment of this Nigerian
Entity.
conglomerate. I'd never seen a movement that is as organic,
Fair.
dedicated, and committed like the obedient movement. So it was strange to them to see a group of young people coming out to support somebody they believe in. They buy their votes. So if they had declared that Peter Obi got 6 million votes, I can tell you that is the first vote in Nigeria that I'm sure that it did not pay a dime for.
Okay.
So the establishment doesn't understand this. So Professor Wole Soyinka kept coming out talking about the obedience, insulting obedience, talking about Peter Obi and all. And then I got to a point, I was like, wait a minute. Peter Obi is not the president of Nigeria. Peter Obi does not even hold any electoral office.
Yeah, I agree.
He has no influence on any state or any country, or the country right now. But yet, this is where Prof is putting his attention. So I had to make a video. I said, sir, no, this is wrong.
Okay.
You are an elder statesman. You are almost 90 at the time. Yeah. You should be the one that you will bring this Peter Obi in, you will bring Atiku in, you will call Tinubu in, and say the three of you sit down. You must work to make this country work.
Government of national unity, right?
That's what you should be at this stage, not the one giving some political party names to call another political party. It's not. It does. What I did was to draw his attention to the fact that, sir, you're going off, but it took it, personal.
So do you think that's where
he became an outcast, right?
Oh, I became an outcast.
So do you think that's where the beef
maybe
with Sheyi came from?
that was what Sheyi took. Maybe that was what he saw. And in Yoruba land, you cannot talk to elders. You have to, whatever the elders do. If your father is
always right.
Smoker, an elder is a drinker, and you just have to keep. And that's what has led us to where we are.
In this big 2020.
Yeah, because you can, you cannot. So it felt like some sort of confrontation from a small me.
Yeah.
To the person of Professor Wole. Maybe that was what Sheyi also. And out of the blues, I just saw Olode Burugwe. I was like, oh God, what is wrong with you? Stop talking like a dog. Stop talking like a dog. You are not.
After then,
you have my number. Reach out to me. Let's talk if you have problem with me.
One-on-one. So Sheyi, one-on-one. Ife is saying that if you have a problem with him, call him. You guys can, square it out. But I mean, that brings me to my next question, which would be, right now, you had contested in 2023.
Yes.
Under which party?
Okay, so
I'm just silent.
No, because I know where I'm coming from. That's what I'm asking.
So I contested under the Young Progressives Party.
YPP.
Yes, YPP.
Okay,
so in year 2020, immediately I decided I was going to.
Why you calling the laugh now?
I was going to go into politics.
Okay.
So out maybe you had asked for an exclusive story. Maybe I should just share this now.
Give me one.
Okay. So it's part of this thing. That was what I was. So when I discovered that I was going to go into politics fully in 2020, the first thing I did, which is the exclusive story now, was to go back to my NYC. So when I finished in...
Wait, say that again. Pause. Wait. Baba, calm down. You went back to water? Wait, am I the only one that heard this?
So When I graduated in 2008, I was posted to Kaduna Zonkwa, the Zonkwa Girls Secondary School. That was my place of primary assignment. But I already had a job in Lagos. Imagine a fresh graduate. I was working in Lagos with the then Fumi Yoda. Some of
I know her.
you know, and I was earning 100K per month.
At that time it's big money.
NYSC was
That's a
9.5.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. What's NYSC?
A lot of money now for some people.
Yeah, I mean right now too. But
So then, 2008, I was earning 100K per month. And then you asked me to go and serve. So I was doing it. You know how we manage this thing. I was doing the NYS. I was going back and forth for like 4 months. But it got to a point I couldn't. So I picked my bag one day. I went to the principal. And you know, it wasn't long that I just that I got back to Kaduna at the time. So I went to the principal. Now the principal office is facing the main gate. So if you are entering the main gate, it's the principal office that you're coming into. You know, before you now go into the school. So I went to the office and I told her that, man, I'm going to Lagos. I'm not doing a YFA again. She was like, "Are you serious? What about you? What, you do not work?" I said, "No, I'm not interested." She said, "Hey." Then she now said, "What if you want to do politics?" I said, "Me, politics, God forbid."
So they had manifested that into your life.
that's in Niger State.
In Kaduna.
Kaduna. Oh, okay.
She said, "What of politics?" I said, "Me, politics." Because I mean, you would need NYSC to do politics. I said, "Me, never politics."
You will never need
I
it.
walked out. If you're used to the north, the way their settlements are, like you can have the main road, you know, like this, and then the house would be like maybe like
2-3 kilometers
away.
Yeah.
So the road from the gate to the main road was a long journey. The woman stood in front of our office looking at me as I was going. I would look back, she would still be there. I think she has never heard such a thing before. Like somebody is walking out on NYSC for no reason. And so apparently she didn't know what I was doing in Lagos. So she was, and then I left. And you know, it was a long night. I got to Kafashan. I couldn't get a bus to Lagos. I had to sleep at the garage, which I will not do now anyway.
That's okay. Thank God.
You know, I mean, for insecurity reasons.
Yeah.
And then from Kafashan, and in the morning I went to Abuja. It was the days of Nigeria Air or something. Not the one that didn't invent
Nigeria.
The one Branson brought to Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Is it Virgin Nigeria?
Virgin Nigeria.
It was Virgin Nigeria.
Yeah.
It was the days of Virgin Nigeria. So I booked the flight to Lagos.
That's Jimmy Aloko, right?
I went into town. I went to have fun. I came back. I missed my flight. So the next flight I was going to get, you know, the woman that was in charge of the flight pitied me. There was a seat which was a business class seat. And so she just gave me, say, "Yeah, just remove your cap." I was like, "Why am I removing my cap?" You know, and then before I got there. So when I got into the plane, I was walking inward to go and look for my seat. And then I realized that my number is taking me back until I got to the business class. So I sat there, a copper, you know, and they were all looking at me. I sat beside a woman called Omotayo Omotosho, who was on AIT
I know her.
at some point in time. You know, so that was the whole experience. And that was how I forgot NYSC. I never went back. So fast forward the year 2000, I realized that NYSC, I was getting. So I went back. I faced the disciplinary committee.
Sorry, yeah, 2000.
2020.
2020, sorry. You know, I went back to Kaduna and I faced the disciplinary committee, and I was now redeployed to Ogun State, where I now had to serve all over.
You were.
Yes, I did. I have the pictures of my phone. Yeah.
You wore khaki.
Yeah, in 2021.
Wait, why? Let me sub question. Why didn't you use the other method? You know, there are methods. There are methods some other politicians have used.
So,
for example,
I was offered.
Some people.
No. I was offered when I went for the thing in Kaduna. I was offered. They told me I should pay 60,000 naira. That since I have said before, they would help me arrange it and I'll get my certificate. I said no. They were still, even those ones too were shocked that who is this one? Well, just pay 60,000 naira. We'll write to Abuja that you have said before, one. They wanted to lie on my behalf. I said no.
That maybe you were ill or something.
Yeah, you get. I said, what's the punishment? They said you have to serve all over again. I said I would choose that. So I because you see, he who comes to the
Equity.
That's it, yeah.
clean hands. I don't want to do the politics again. That in the future somebody will now come. I'm the one that sold these NYSC tickets for you. No,
And then we'll go to be. It's familiar,
It's
It's
not
familiar.
going to happen.
Familiar with that story.
I went to serve in Ogun State again. I did it all over again.
Where did you serve?
And in Ogun State,
I mean, like, what was your place of primary
Otta.
school?
It's a private school. I can't remember the name now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
What did you teach?
English.
Oh,
Okay.
By the way, I taught English in that Kaduna, and the children really loved me, but I couldn't stay. It was really hard for me.
Lagos was calling 100K.
So and it was that thing for me, and then I came back. I did my NYSC, and then at the time, at the Senate, it was just APC, PDP, and YPP
oh.
Where?
at the Senate.
In 2023.
In 2021,
Okay.
the only YPP was Ifeanyi Ubah from Anambra.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So he was the only one that was. So if you check the Senate's, arrangement at the time, it was APC, PDP, and YPP. So I felt like, okay, if this party is there already at the top, and it is also a young progressive party, and this was also the time where the not too young to run bill was all over the place. It seemed like something that works with my ideology. So I went to meet them. I met with the people in Lagos. I met with them at the grassroots, and then I joined them. But I told them something when I was joining. I said, look, I hope this party is an egalitarian party, not the party that is being used to front for any other party. Like, no, blah blah blah. Excuse me, like, yeah. I was like, yeah. So we started working. So I started working since 2021, 2022, 2022 before. So Peter Obi
Came in 2022.
came in 2022, 8 months to election. Right. And so I was already on the YPP platform. I had done so much of work. I had created different, units and cells, and
Up to the world level.
up to the world level. So it was so much for me to just say
Abandon ship.
yes, abandon the thing and then move on. So but then even at the time, right, because our presidential candidate was not really forthcoming, I knew
It's not
that
that prof. What's his name?
Ibrahim something or Mohammed something, he was from Kwara State. So and then I actually worked with I told my team to work with the Peter Obi people. We wanted to even meet
Still
with
some
them.
type of like a
So
merger.
yes. So we had the presidential election, and it went. And just before the governorship election, it was on a Wednesday. I was sleeping. My phone was buzzing. I managed to pick a call, and then the person was like, where are you? Put on your TV. Check my TV. I was like, what is that? What kind of station is my TV this age of time?
But I remember don't give them they used to show us movies that year.
They tried for us.
They tried for us that year. We'll give them their applause.
So I put it on, and guess what? I saw my governorship candidate of the YPP campaigning for APC
Oh, really?
live on TV. Whilst I was campaigning, we would get to some places. They would tell us that, this is a YPP, it's Tinubu that owns it, forget it. I'll be like, no, it's an Nigerian party, we are not, we're a youth party, we are young people. Yeah, okay. Only for me to go on the TV.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
So, my own governorship candidate campaigning for APC. And I'm like, what? That day, I didn't say anything. I went to my laptop, I put it on, I opened my letterhead paper, and I wrote my resignation letter straight from the party. And I sent it to them, and I posted it on my Twitter page. And that was
So you
when.
didn't even get to at least let people put your...
Wait, did you contest House of Rep or House of Assembly? House of Rep.
Yes.
House of Rep. So
Yes.
your elections had happened before the guy endorsed.
Yes.
Alright.
So I mean, even the party, they were not forthcoming even whilst we were doing all of that. But I just felt like maybe they didn't just have the means. By the way, they were even going to sell my candidacy to someone else, to an APC candidate who lost at the primary.
I wanted to come in.
They wanted to come to.
Needed a home.
So your this thing is Senatorial district.
Your
is
election
where?
was before the Guba, right? So you
Yes,
got,
yes, it was
The same
the
day
House
we
of
did.
Rep election
So
was.
you are in Alimosho.
Yes.
Wow, Alimosho is hard to win, just to say,
I mean,
because it's an APC. That is the only.
which part of this Lagos is not an?
No, but Alimosho is the only ones that give. We know the story now. That
No,
the ones that give-
Alimosho just has like the highest number of
yes,
votes.
highest number of
Based
votes for
on
APC.
population.
Yes.
Right, so
It's the largest
it
local
doesn't mean that it is. So if you call Alimosho APC,
But I think Peter Obi still won there.
Yeah.
Peter Obi won in Alimosho now.
Alimosho.
Peter Obi won in Lagos, Tinubu State. Still Peter Obi won. So you see what, and that's the mystery that I am glad that Peter Obi was able to break with that 2023 election. Like I said earlier, states where it does not have a governorship support, he won. States where it does not have, local government support, he won. So all of these things, when the people are ready, we will take over this country.
Okay, but now you have your individual ideology, and politically, the ideology you align with is that of Obi, right? But in all of this, you still see people that they'll tell you that I'm for Obi, any day, anytime. But where I draw the line is party. I don't do party, all that drama that you guys are doing in your party. I'm not seeing it. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, so it's a natural thing. I mean, political party structure, if you're going to go by the number of votes you will get from people that are core members of the political structure, they cannot do up to 10% of the votes you need to win election.
Fair.
The people that will give you the votes are the people who are, sentimental towards your campaign, who are, emotional towards it, who understand it, some of them are objective towards your, campaign, what's that thing called? The manifesto.
Yeah.
Who would read your manifesto and say, okay, if you're able to do this, you're able to do that, you can move the constituency or the nation forward. So that's largely where your votes will come from. The political structure is, how many people are in Labour Party? How many people are registered members of Labour Party in the country? It's an
There was a time APC told us they had about 80 million members.
APC will tell you anything.
You don't believe that?
By next election, they will tell you that they have 90 million. APC will tell you anything. Forget APC. Anything APC says, they just take it with a pinch of
But
salt.
if that ideology, right, the Obi ideology, because I'm going based off what you as a person, what you're going with, your principles, values, all of those things, they align with that. So politically, you are aligned with that.
Absolutely.
Now, we saw that ideology do something that has never been done before. Mass voting, the young came out, PVC sensitization. And, it it was kind of like out of pocket. Not to say that Obi dictated the party and all that, but people went out of their way.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if people went out of their way, people contested. Maybe you sort of asked this question before, but maybe let's try to address it. If that ideology was so phenomenal, why are people defecting from Labour Party to other party, which is a natural thing?
Yeah.
Humans will move. People migrate. It's normal human nature. That's why, personally, for me, when people defect, I don't care. I don't even think it's worth. I don't think it's worth sensationalizing.
Exactly.
Do whatever you want to do. I feel like as an individual, you know what you're going to do. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see it as something that. But then again, news will make the news. The most important things that should make the news will never make the news anyways. So if people came, that same wave is still lingering. Why not just sort of wait till 2027? Let's even see that this man that you jumped on his bandwagon, let him say, oh, I'm not running again. Then you can defect. Or then let's just say, okay, part 2 of second term campaign have started. The momentum is not the same. Let me leave. Does that mean that ideology didn't necessarily hit as we thought? Were we
Didn't seep in.
Yes. Were we living in an echo chamber or a bubble?
No. No, it's still about personality. It's still we're talking about the people who defected. They are not up to the ones that are still in the party now.
Are you sure?
No, they are not now.
But it does make a significant.
Oh no, yeah. So it's
I'm
not discarding.
in Lagos,
I'm
how
saying
many
that
in Lagos, how many Labour Party members or House of Rep that we got? Right? Did anyone defect?
none of them has.
But it's concerning. It's concerning.
So he
yeah.
wants
The reason why-
and then we thought that he was defective.
We thought.
I mean, he has
Why you not
up
wearing
to
the
date.
Tinubu cap?
Me?
Yeah.
I've told you I cannot have anything to do.
So we are-
It's a
Hold on.
personal ideology now. It's a personal thing. See, he may even like the cap now.
You don't talk
yeah,
the
no,
Moreno
no.
deal.
On a serious note, he has not officially said he is the campaign.
So we are talking about Atta, right?
Yes.
Yes,
That
Atta has not said that he is the campaign
Campaign.
or he's leaving. He still attends Labour Party events, you know. He still organizes different programs on the name of Labour Party. Let him, even if Atta defects, so what?
Yeah, I agree with you on so what part, but what sort of, because there's some people, right, that you kind of look at them antecedent-wise, during that campaign season, they worked. They were active. You can't say they were not active.
Absolutely.
Let's just say a guy like Valentine. You can say, yeah, we saw, let's just say it was just press appearance. There's some people that will tell you that, in our own side, Val did this. To them, he did what he had to do. So you can't necessarily take that away.
Yeah.
But when a guy like Val then decamps,
I mean,
hold on. Now, again, I really don't care where. Okay, that's a lie. I do care where you go to. I care. I care. I actually do care. What I would say I don't care for is you moving. As in human nature, you're supposed to move, but your final destination is where I'm rather perplexed about. So when a guy like Val leaves and he says, "Oh, I'm leaving, right, the party, but I'm with you in spirit," that thing that we started, I'm still going to be here with you guys, just not in the party. If you need me, I'm here. I will still support Obi like that. I still believe in that ideology, but I don't necessarily think this party can take me to where I want politically. Now that's your vibe. Do you any day, anytime?
Yeah.
Isn't it enough? This is me playing the devil's
Yeah.
advocate here. Isn't it enough when a guy like Valentine says, "You see that thing we started? I'm still here with you guys, any day, anytime, but I need to leave." And then he leaves to this party that I'm like, okay, bro, that's a big one, right? That's hard to swallow. In that regard, shouldn't that be enough to still say that, okay, yeah, he still believes in the ideology, we can still vibe with him? Or then because he went far left or right, whichever part of the divide you are at, then you then say, oh, that ideology, he doesn't believe in that ideology. Why do we think we have the yardstick? Like, what's the measuring tool we use to say, yes, this ideology, you match the description or you don't match the description?
So, it's important to note that for someone like Val, I took it personal.
okay.
Yeah, you did. You were heartbroken.
It was very close to Pio.
To the source.
I was already campaigning for Val, certainly,
Yeah.
since last year.
He was sort of like,
it was like the star boy.
he was AKA next of kin.
You understand? So it was actually, to be sincere with ourselves, let's not sugarcoat it. It was heartbroken that Val left, Peter Obi and the Obedient and of course Labour Party, and then moved to
Not PDP.
they moved to APC.
Good. Just so we're clear.
So because you see, and coming to that part of how we measure where to now say this is right or wrong, it is a case of 2015 to 2025, that's 10 years. It is a case of 10 years of a party that consistently proven to
10 years
drive
is enough time for you to
to drive this nation backward. If you say you have anything to offer, right, 10 years is more than enough to do. How many years did it take them to transform Dubai from desert to what it is today?
Exactly.
30 years. I.e., if we were going to be Dubai in the next 30 years, APC should have given us
Science.
the do
Yeah.
of the Dubai by now. So we would have seen it.
I like that.
Oh yes, we would have seen it. Like, oh, okay. I mean, we're getting closer to becoming, but now they've taken us backward. And you leaving a promising structure, a promising personality, to say you want to go and join this,
Progressive.
regressive
Malaki, I beg.
team. It doesn't make any sense. So that's where, for me, I draw the line.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's on one side. But again, I mean, let's put it all together now. Val, even if ATA joins and all the House of Rep
Joined.
that have left Labour Party and the Senator, I don't know if any that has left, any one of them, anybody.
Isn't Sergio Sogun a senator?
Who?
Sergio Sogun, the one from Edo State.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Isn't
leaving.
it?
He's leaving. Yeah.
Abi has left.
So I don't know. All of them join together, put them together. All these people that are one, under the Labour Party platform, and they are leaving to go to APC. Put all of them together. They are not half. They are not up to half of one El-Rufai that left APC for SDP.
Okay. So that's their substance, right?
So they are put them together. I said they are not up to half of one El-Rufai that left APC for SDP.
Okay.
So it is normal for anybody to move. It is normal for people to go from work. I mean, again, we are saying it is normal. It is normal. In the real, in the place where they understand democracy and all, it's not normal. You hardly find people just jump from Democrats to.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it is. In fact, I saw a video that I don't make reference to of a baby girl of about maybe 4 or 5 year old, and she ran to the mother crying. And the mother was like, "What's wrong with you?" And he said, "Daddy called me a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Republican." And the mother was laughing. He was like, "Oh no, don't worry, you're a Republican. Tell Daddy I'm not a Democrat." That is the ideology.
It's ingrained, right?
It's ingrained in that child. She will grow up with it.
Okay.
That is where there is ideological.
Now that we're speaking of
politics.
ingraining, so how do we ingrain ideologies? No matter what your ideology is, not just a crash course. If you believe in this thing, how do you ingrain in it so much that no matter what, come rain, come sunshine, you will always embody that political ideology?
So it is until ideology will not. Ideology is vague until it is implemented.
Okay.
Until it is practiced. So if I have a capitalist ideology, right, I can talk about it from now to tomorrow.
Yeah.
But when I practicalize it, people can make reference to it that this and this and this is what is
Based on your policies, right?
based on my policies, based on the things that I've done. So, for example, if we have a Peter Obi in office and he is able to create a clear ideology as to how politics should be played and all, and then it can become a reference that, oh, this is, and we can begin to now teach the younger ones and drive this idea to them and all. I think, I mean, I made a video that I've not posted for I think it's about 2 weeks now. I've not posted that. The video is me talking to Gen Zs, all these your boys behind the cameras and all, telling them that, look, you must be involved in politics.
Yeah, I
Don't
agree.
buy that lie that they told us that,
Politics is a game.
yeah, so you must be involved in politics. Don't buy that lie that they told us that politics is a game. Politics is dirty. You don't get involved in politics.
Yeah.
You fine boys and fine girls should be the one that are ward chairman of political parties,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
so that you can bring in your guys
Yeah, pa.
into the thing. But they've made it look like politics
pa.
is for the old.
You don't agree?
Speaking.
They make it look like politics is for the old, and that's why we will be in 2025. But the politics we are practicing in the politics of 1964.
Yeah.
But if we are there, if we are taking charge of the structure right now, we can then implement. As on my way here, I was thinking about some of the problems of political party structure. And I realized that if you go to political meetings, you find out that the ward chairman is going to beg somebody money to enter motor back to his house once he leaves that place. The local government chairman, some of them, they are going to beg for money when they are leaving the political meeting, right? And so, shouldn't it be that it should be ingrained, it should be part of the constitution, that for you to even be a ward chairman, and this is where ideology comes in.
Okay.
I was telling myself that if I have the opportunity, these are the things I would do.
Can I cause him
For
short?
you to be a ward chairman of a party,
Yeah.
you must have a job. You must have a job or a business that is fetching you money. Why do you think the religious sector has been able to survive all those while? They got to a point, they rebranded it. Pastors of what's it called now? Pentecostal churches. Some of them are bank managers. Some of them are MDs of some organizations.
Yeah.
Senior staff of some organizations.
But are you also aware that some of them retire into full pastoral advents
I was
and
about to
adventure
say
by
that
time?
all of them.
I said some.
Okay, some of them, but
Quite a number of
Even
them.
most of the some of them retire into full pastoral advents, full pastoral career, and become career politicians too, just like the career politicians.
At a particular time, but they've grown. They've gotten. See, this person that you are saying is retiring into. He probably already has a house or two to which he had worked for, not for church money.
So this is my thought orientation, simply because people have like career trajectory.
Yeah.
And they know how they plot out their career trajectory, and they know at what point exactly to become what's to be, and what point to become what's to not be. Right. On that grounds, anyway, I'll drive you back to the party ideology thing. In 2000, the Labour Party was formulated, basically, and
Was
it
what?
was formulated.
The
Basically.
Labour Party.
Yes. in
No.
2000.
It's been in existence before then.
Yeah, basically, like the ideologies around it, 2000, 2002 was when it was formulated from the NLC.
Okay.
Yeah, basically,
Okay.
right? And this was because, just as in the Marxists and the conflictists, taking or drawing inferences or deductions from the Karl Marx principles of the laborers, basically, they were left out. Now, you see the menial workers, you see all of these guys, basically, being at the bottom of social stratum entirely, and these guys are not recognized. Those were the people the Labour Party was created for, right? And when you speak about party ideology, what then, however, is the party ideology for Labour Party, and how can that be put to the fore? Because when you speak of party ideology, it has to be oriented around the core of a particular party. What do you think the party ideology for Labour Party is? Firstly, I think we'll take it from there.
Well, so again, when we come to the theoretical explanation
Framework,
of all
yeah.
of these things,
Yes.
even APC have their
I
written.
I doubt.
Everybody.
No, they do. They have a charter. They do have a charter.
The PDP does. Every political party have.
Now, Madam Obi draft up. Yes.
You know why it sits?
Hold on.
Yeah.
They have these things written. It is in the practicalization and the actualization of it
That is
the
where I'm
problem
going
is
to.
in Nigeria.
So, if SALAKO, let me tell you this for an instance. When you speak of ideology, right, for it to be an ideology, it is firstly idealistic before practical.
Absolutely, I said that earlier.
And for it to be practical, it becomes materialistic, right? Now, this is what I'm saying to the larger audience out there, that it was firstly an ideology because it was what you have preconceived to achieve.
Yeah.
Right? So if you say they do, however, and they are not able to fully implement, then they don't in the first place. Do you agree? They don't in the first place. So for those who are within the Labour Party, who we consider the more intellectually elitist, right, intellectually sound and intellectually futuristic and theoretical and theorists and philosophists and philosophers, all of those words, right? You spoke to the Gen Z, folks behind the camera, folks within ages 1 to 26 in this current time and age to get involved in politics, the creatives, all of those other guys, right? How then do they find their own individual ideologies and a party who their ideologies fit into to become like a part of the whole, a part of the party's collective?
So I think what he's saying is simple.
These Gen Z guys,
Yeah.
how do they discover themselves in these realms, in the context of politics, to now find like a political party that they can align with?
Here is what I've been saying about the Gen Zs. The Gen Zs they're a generation of accountability. They're a generation of receipts, right? So when you're talking to them, they want to see, the evidence of what you are talking about.
Basically.
So the Gen Zs are not interested in politics
you
right
to show
now,
workings.
right? Because they are not seeing the evidence of being, a
Politics.
part of, the political structure. So here is the thing, and that is where I referenced, for example, I will say it again and again, Peter Obi,
Fair.
right? And that's where I referenced it. Like, if we have someone like that,
Yeah.
that the Gen Zs know now that almost all politicians are thieves. That is the mindset they have. And whether you want to agree or not, every day, they see it in the news. Somebody has stolen 700 billion, another person 80 billion, this one 9. So they know that all these guys are just thieves. Now, let's begin to have somebody. Let's begin to have
That they can
people.
look up
How do we
to.
invite
That's-
the Gen Zs to the table? Because they can't come on their own.
Hold on, let me
Yeah.
learn. Let's have people, or let's even have at the top, because Nigeria is actually, controlled from the center largely. If the moment we're able to correct the head, the body would align. And this is it. The same way that the head, once the head is sick, the body becomes, non-functional.
No.
You understand? So, if we're able to correct that center, right, and we're able to get it right, the Gen Zs that we're talking about can begin to see the impact of democracy. They can begin to see the dividends of democracy that we have been talking about since all these years. They can begin to see, let me tell you something.
Yes.
There is no politician in this country. This is going to sound weird, but there is no politician that I respect, like Fashola.
Oh.
Yeah.
Babatunde?
Babatunde Raji Fashola.
Why?
Go ahead.
Yes.
That one's another new one.
Yes.
Why?
Okay.
Why? I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I was just about this was in when
I think
It was in 07. He became
07
governor in
to-
07.
Yeah.
I was just about a 27-year-old boy working, I was rounding up in school then, and all I knew about governance, about Lagos, was chaos. I almost died in Mulwe one day.
Where should he?
Where no, inside,
your mind go to
inside,
That's where.
inside Mulwe, like
That's
I
where it
was
gets
choked, like
stuff.
I was, I'm like this, and I'm still very shocked. Like, can you imagine me then, I was like this boy that at that time.
I beg, leave our Gen Zs.
And they were
Leave our
like,
Gen
man,
Zs.
and everybody. And they were like people all over my head. I was, suffocating. But all of a sudden, this person came. And before you knew it, in a space of 3 months, for the first time,
Everybody.
I saw a road that was started and completed. I saw different, visible development in Lagos. Oshodi was cleared, like you would broad daylight then in Oshodi. If all of you know Oshodi, broad daylight in Oshodi, then they will rob you. It's not a.
They'll rob you,
they
nothing
will
will
rob
happen.
you. Like people will be going and come. Like they will be robbing you. They will collect everything you have on you. Broad
Facts.
daylight.
Facts.
Okay.
Do you understand? This stopped instantly.
So why do you respect him?
Because of his visibly
I'm gonna pull it down now.
transformational,
Changes that he brought.
the changes that he brought to Lagos.
So if Fashola was on the ticket, right,
Yeah.
you would rather vote for Fashola over a Peter Obi that you have talked about here.
In 2023,
Yeah.
if APC had,
23.
Yeah.
yes, in
21.
2023,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pass.
if APC had fed Fashola, I will vote Fashola.
But did you see Fashola
I will
second
vote
term?
Fashola again.
Fashola second term.
Fashola second term.
Yeah.
Fashola second term was not. I even said it. It was not that.
Effective.
It was.
But you know what Fashola did?
Hold on. It was not that. Even Fashola as a minister was not really.
Because I was going there.
Yes. No. But you see, for all it's worth, right?
Yeah.
His first time as a governor was you know, it was, and I believe his first time as a president, because for being a minister, he was working under who? Daddy Daura, right? Yeah, you know, it is. If he tells Daddy Daura that Baba, we need to do this now, I say no, I'm not aware of that.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked. So what will he do? But you know, I know. See, you know why I respect. Why another reason why I respect Fashola is Fashola is a very brilliant man. I've sat with him before. Not, I mean, he was. We had the. It was a filming thing that we had with him then, and you could see the way he even reads in his car. So that
specify while someone is driving him, not
no, why someone, of course.
Sorry, this was the same Fashola who went to the toll gate.
No,
guy, how did you remove this thing from my mouth?
So that's it.
Wait, hold on.
If please,
Hold on, I know all of you will say this. Yes, wait now, wait.
Fabio did that in the first time as well. Like Fabio was very transformative, futuristic, progressive. It was all of those things you want.
I agree.
In the
first time, that wasn't it, right?
So wait, hold on.
This last point is that Fashola's second term would have also informed many people's decisions as to whether or not, if he was on the ticket in 2023, if he was going to be upheld by the predominant.
There are lots of things, including that that rubbish camera thing that he discovered. That
that happened.
Wait now, there are a lot of things that had happened that had made Fashola quite unpopular. But you see, I'm talking about the transformational thing that he did, and I'm saying it in line with if we are able to see people to do things better than that in this age. I say Fashola did that, and he brought me over.
Consistency and continuity exists.
You will not be in government forever.
Akpabio
is a disaster.
Fashola wasn't in the second term, even as a minister.
He was minister for 3 portfolios. And in those 3 portfolios,
I'm asking questions.
In those 3 portfolios,
I represent the Gen Z.
in those 3 portfolios, if you ask a Gen Z, like me now, give him a scorecard. You came here to say that Jonathan had already elevated us in terms of power, right? And he was moving somewhere in his power roadmap. And then the next person who came, right, brought us back.
Yeah,
you understand? You were the one because you're trying to confuse us here.
Yes.
My head is.
Well, I'm not confused. I know where I stand with the Fashola.
Exactly, because I don't get it.
Let me see.
Fashola was in charge of power for 4 years, right? And then he was in charge of 3 other 2 housing and works. My brother, he had
the superpower to transform nothing.
It was nothing. It was not. See, if there was a scorecard here, he will not get 0.
He
will not get 0 on anywhere. On any one of the
governor?
No, we're not ministerial.
Power, housing, and works.
So are you? Wait, hold on, hold on. You know, it is hard for you on this table. Whether you want to, it's hard for you to really quantify the work of a minister.
I will.
How do you?
I'm coming.
Hold on.
Coming.
Wait, how do you quantify it?
I will.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go back to Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
Okay.
She was a minister. We all know her as a minister. She was no governor in this country. She was a minister. We knew that in her first term, because when you get in as a minister, you can at least negotiate the terms that you want to work. Right? You can negotiate that, okay, if I'm going to come in this capacity, I want to be able to have a free hand to do X, Y, and Z. She did that in the first term. It was so impressive, right, that Jonathan had to go and beg her again to come back in the second term of her ministerial appointment. Now I'm coming now.
Wait. You are not. Wait. Tell me. Wait. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
Yes.
Right. I respect her a lot.
Yes.
Right. But I'm saying that if you were talking about measuring, see, a president can decide.
He's talking about operationalizing.
Yes. Tell me.
What are the characteristics
exactly.
of the roadmap?
Okay, wait. Let's simplify this. Hold on. Let's simplify this.
A 2-term governor in this country would want to be a minister with all of the hype that comes with.
No,
what
he
they
is
have
saying
done
what are
in
the points you raised, the metrics you raised them.
Yeah, so what do you
Basically.
rate them by?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Okay,
you
let's
can
let's
answer
let's
that.
simplify it.
Answer that.
Hold on. So let's simplify this so that we can move on because we will be here now and night will anyways.
I know you.
So
Please, I need my cup filled though.
what are the measures if you were to state
My
five?
people will call it.
If you were to state five, what would be the 5 measures?
For
Rating Fasholas.
Fashola. Okay, now let's
Progressivity
let's
and
make it.
futurity.
we are talking about fashion.
Yeah, okay, let's even make
Now,
it
now, so
interesting.
As a minister.
As a
Let's make
minister.
it
Yes.
interesting. Let's make it interesting.
Why do people not listening to me now?
I will listen to you.
Did you not hear? Wait, now, did you not hear the part that I said Fashola as a minister was a disaster?
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that. Now hold on.
Don't worry,
Wait,
guys, don't
calm
worry.
down
But
because you
said
guys
he could have
hold
still
on.
been rated now, basically.
Hold on.
Because he was a
hold
minister
on.
before the 2023 election.
Hold
and you
on.
have
Oh,
upheld
of
it.
course, now.
simplify
Yes,
So I
it.
wanted
Let
to
me-
know what those
Let me
metrics are.
simplify this.
Okay.
then
It's a
we
beer
can move on.
parlor.
As a governor,
Yeah.
he was a great guy for you. As
First
a
time.
minister,
It wasn't.
he wasn't.
Yes.
So let me just take out the governorship part. Now the ministerial part. What are the scorecards you use to measure him F9?
That you would have voted for him.
Don't speak for me. Don't speak for me. Don't ask my questions.
Okay.
So what?
So he was minister for housing, works and
Power.
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 Yes.
So basically, power did not improve.
Okay, one.
Infrastructure
You
was,
have the figures.
I
Hold
mean,
on, that's
but
my
I
question, hold
gave
on.
a figure earlier of Jonathan to
Yeah,
to date. So if he had improved, we would have gone from that 6,000 to like 8,000
Okay,
or something.
so
You
power
know,
did not improve,
So
that's
power
one.
did not improve.
Two.
Even up until the time they left office, I'm not even sure our Lagos Ibadan Express Road was completed. To the same road, Lagos Biniore Road,
Three.
was not done. So
Okay, let's
I mean,
leave it as two. Let's leave it as
so
two. That's
infrastructure
same- yeah, two.
was not. Then what else?
Housing.
There was, I mean, Nigeria is still battling with housing. We are still battling
Deficits,
with
yeah.
yes, housing deficit
That's
right
three.
now. So yeah, so I mean, I'm saying that. Look, what I'm saying
No, which
is
5?
that I felt.
Anyways.
He can
Okay,
go on
you
and
know
on
which
because he
side.
has 3 ministerials. Like he's still
Yeah, so
but
I
he
mean-
wants to say something.
I've said it.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
I'll
that
let
the
you off the
reason
hook.
I am in support of him, I have.
You would have
I
actually.
would have supported
Yeah.
him. I stated emphatically, it's because of the transformational work he did as a governor. Now, let me also draw your attention to the
Yes.
fact, to something. You may not know.
Let me
The
know.
second term that you were talking about of Fashola,
Yeah.
do you know it was in a major tussle between himself and this same Tinubu?
Okay, that's sort of like an open
Same as
secret.
Imam bodies.
So now I'm not even making up excuses.
You're
for
not-
him.
okay.
I'm saying that look, given the power to be the one in charge, not a minister under Buhari.
Just free flow as
Just-
an individual.
You get? I have seen him being the man,
For some time.
making the decisions,
Without
and
influence.
he made a lot of right decision, being the person to call the
All
shots.
right. Yeah. So sorry.
But being the
Hold on.
person, but being the person to take orders from
Yeah.
Someone else.
Baba.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So if I between you and I now, right?
Yes.
In his first term, he wasn't under a political superpower like Tinubu, right? Is that what you're?
He cut himself off. That was why he had the problem.
In the first term,
Okay, was it
I was-
the
I'm
first term he
asking.
cut himself
the
off?
first term he
Okay.
cut himself off, and
First
that
term-
was why he had problem in the second term.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Ife, he was still with the Tinubu's campaign team.
Yes.
In 2015.
He cut himself off. How is that explained?
In fact, it is. Hold on. It is.
So wait,
Okay,
wait. What do you expect Fashola to do? So Fashola should be against Tinubu.
If no, that's
I don't understand.
Wait,
That's-
no,
that's
no.
his
When you
nonsense.
make it sound like that, like to
Let me answer. Let me
This is how
answer.
my ear. This is how. And let me just use myself. If my generation drag me, I will fight all of you. Anyways, when you say what do you expect, he was supposedly voted for.
Yeah.
People, him and Obanikoro at that time. I remember because I was very much in primary school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very much in primary
In
school.
primary school.
Yeah, I was in primary school.
Yeah.
Of course, I was in primary school. Are you shocked? So I was in primary school, and I know that I remember the tussle of Koro and Fashola because my sister was in a boarding school in Badagry. So I remember
The back and forth.
that back and forth. We would be in the car. It was heated, right? He won. Now, in my small picking mind, the only reason why I wanted Obani Koro to win at that time was because his song was catchier anyways. But what did I know at that time?
So,
Hold on.
All right.
So now this is the thing. He went in first term. Yeah, that was when that whole 7-lane express that time. That thing was hot. That they sweet everybody. Now, you say he cut off. How did he? Because for you to cut off someone, you have to be like this with someone. You have to have some form of relationship with the person. So I'm assuming that in his first term, because the way I'm reading it now is like they were like this during the campaign and everything. The moment he entered, he said, "Deuces up to you people, to hell with you people." And it's almost like, okay, they told you, okay, now, to hell with us, Abi. Second term, that to hell with us, you said, we are going to show what we're going to see about it. So it makes me wonder that if Fashola had like an individual, like a strong ideology of himself, which I think to a large point he did, and he was sort of like the people's governor. People liked Fashola.
Absolutely.
Right. Whether or not, at least a decent number liked him. And that, would you then say that he didn't fight the fights, or he just sort of like just let them do whatever? Because people will tell you that you are in seat at that time. At least Nigeria has always been bad, but not as bad as it is right now.
Yeah.
Would you then say that, guy, you let these people play you into the corner, and that is like a sign of weakness? So that ideology that you are preaching, that you are telling us to believe in, you don't even believe in yourself. So how do you expect me to believe in you? And that's why when Fashola came during NSAT, he did that thing. I'm like,
No, that was
what the
very
hell
low.
are you
That was
doing?
very low of him.
Like, bro, because really, you need to remember that this generation, we don't forget iconic moments like that. So Fashola can be the best guy in the world, but the moment Fashola played on our intelligence like that, at that moment, Fashola started to dwindle. He dwindled tragically. So it's going to be very hard for me now when you're talking about him. And then again, I don't
See,
deny.
let me-
Mind you, I was young at that time, so my memories of this might be blurry. So I will take your word for it. But is it that thing that he did?
Yeah,
Somebody
here
like
is the
me,
thing. See,
I'm not going to forget that.
And again, I say that, look, you take these things and you will never forget it. I would never forget it, right? But then it is a case of, are we building this nation? Are we moving this nation forward? Do we want to grow this nation?
Yeah.
So let me tell you again why I said what I
I'll
said.
still answer your question, though.
Yeah, let me tell you why I said what I said. Fashola is what led to Fashola's success as a governor in Lagos. Is what led to this rubbish APC that we are seeing today.
Okay.
It was Fashola's success that Tinubu took and went to Oyo State, went to Osun State, went to Ondo
To market.
and they were literally telling them that Sherry Bashe Sheko, you see what we have done in Lagos,
That's a fair point. I agree.
and we are bringing it to you. That was what they sold to the people there in the southwest.
Okay, fine.
It was Fashola's success, not APC, not Tinubu. It was Fashola's, and if you want to, whether you like it or not, this was what this man now rode on, and then he took all around.
The Atlantic Ocean.
And gaslighting. But
And so you see, when I said that, look, if APC had forget that jam at Togeto, if APC had fed Fashola in 2023,
Not Oshibadu.
or even Oshibaju yourself,
either or. Let's say that either or.
either Fashola or Oshibaju, the conversation would have been different.
Okay.
Today, it would have been a completely different conversation.
Okay.
So we know that yes, these people have their shortcomings. Even Oshibaju, did Oshibaju not go to sell ice cream?
Where now?
Okay. All right. So hold on.
So this is my question to you, Ife. If this is my question to you, like, let's drift a bit
Yeah,
off
we
that,
do.
right? I mean, ahead of 2027, road to 2027,
Yes.
for the Labour Party,
Yes.
if they had come up with coalition strategies, what political parties personally would you have in mind?
Would I have what?
Have in mind personally?
For a coalition.
Coalition.
Are you contesting?
No, for 2027.
Are you contesting?
For we are asking two different questions.
I'm
Answer.
mixing it up.
Okay. For 2027, first of all, it is Peter Obi or nobody for me.
Okay.
That one is clear.
I'm talking about Labour Party's coalition.
Like coalition. Would you want a coalition?
Would I want a coalition? You see, because
Personally.
I don't know what this coalition is all about. For me, yes, maybe some political parties may agree to come together and then work together towards so which is fine. But
To
I
fight a
think
common enemy.
I think it is the time is running out on that now.
Coalition, right?
On coalition, because there is a whole lot of things that need to go into it.
Right.
Merging the structure.
You see,
you know,
APC formed coalitions in like 2 years now.
you get
In
so
just less than 2 years.
I think, but if there's going to be coalition, there can be a coalition. But to what end?
Okay.
Nigeria right now, in the political space, we know the three top contenders, the same people at the last election: Tinubu, Peter Obi, Atiku. Right. So yeah, it's that way. If you look at it, and for me, I don't think Atiku for all it's worth should come back to contest for election again.
I'm sorry, when I say coalition, I'm not talking about the major guys. I'm talking about coalitions with the party, Labour Party, and other parties, like
all
smaller parties
together.
and
They
GG.
come
and
together to fight one party.
They should. If you ask
Personally, I'm asking you personally.
Personally.
Yes, not on the grounds of your seat.
I think if a coalition is
spokesperson.
going to happen,
Yes.
I would be in support of it.
Okay.
Because for as many of us who saw Game of Thrones,
Okay.
at every point
What
in
house are
time,
you on?
No, listen. Yeah, I'm listening.
the Starks.
Yeah.
So for every point in time where there will be war, you would see them consulting one house to the other. Are you with us or not? Sometimes they cajole the house to support them, sometimes they force them to support them. So all of those things happen, and when you know that you have this house, that house, and all of these houses to you, and then you can then now decide to so yes,
Personally.
if you ask me, I would say there should be a coalition
Ahead of
to
2027.
move these people.
All right. So,
So, lastly, then,
nice.
lastly,
Nice.
then, right? When we speak of coalitions, right? Some people are really heavy on cross carpeting. People are heavy on defecting, basically. Do you think the rules surrounding cross carpeting, defecting, floor crossing, and all of that should be reviewed for saner policy?
Yeah. I mean, if I get to the House of Rep, one of the things I would like to push, whether it will pass or not, is to make it clear that if you cross carpet from one party to the other, especially if you had one of the
Is
parties,
that not in the constitution?
that
right?
you should
No.
no.
But they modeled it up.
It's more. That's I said.
clear.
As I said, it should make
And the
it
Supreme
clear.
Court has
It's
now
not
even-
clear.
The Supreme Court has now put a stamp on it through this River State
Yeah.
by making a side comment that people can detect.
Oh, they say
Why does this sit there now?
Oh,
But the constitution is bigger than anyone's
So
Nigeria.
it should be crystal
It
clear
should be.
for every political party that once you win on a party, because you see, why that is very sacrosanct is that I'm not voting for Wayne. I am voting for the party
yeah.
she's contesting. Because
I believe in their ideology.
Because I believe in that is what the constitution says to me.
Yes.
So if you want me to cross carpet, then allow independent candidacy.
Bam.
So if there's
That's
one of the things that we need to push
Yeah.
is that look, it must be part of the electoral laws, strong one, clear that if you
Concise.
win on any platform of a particular party, if you defect, you will lose that seat to the
With that
party.
shape, if
the-
anything
the
happens.
It's as simple as that. So
Party can then
that
nominate
that should
someone
be
else.
made clear. So of
Okay.
course, I believe strongly that we need to
Personally.
do something about
All
that.
right. So this is the last question, and I get to ask the last question just to cool things down because I want to. Anyways,
Okay, you are the only lady, so.
of course, it's
We are
not like you can challenge me
Well,
anyways.
he asked, would you be running?
Are you running
in 2027?
Are you running in 2027?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Good luck.
For House of Rep.
Nice.
Lagos State.
Yes.
The other.
I'm running against you. Though.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Nice to meet you.
All right. So just to cool things down, because you seem to have a lot of personal ideologies and individuals that you agree with their ideologies. For the fun of it, in all this brouhaha of coalition, now let's make it personal, individual. Who would you say is like an unlikely ally that if they come together would bang and change things? Like people don't see it, but you look at it like if these two were together to do something untouchable, who would come to mind?
Sure, on Peter Obi.
No. So
That's South. No?
So it's a bit dicey for me because the top two is still Peter Obi and Atiku. Now this is how it works. If Atiku decides not to contest and decides to throw his weight behind Peter Obi,
It's possible.
it's not impossible.
Okay.
That is the end game.
Okay.
Because of course Atiku is going to be 81 in 2027. 81.
Officially.
Yes. 81.
And there's football age.
No. Of course, they all have football age and official age. They all.
So, but in that circumstance, who would you want Atiku to throw up? Because if Atiku will step back,
Somebody
definitely
has
they will
to
give him
fall
that
in.
right to push someone.
So who would be
Is
that
not
unlikely ally?
Is that not them politicians you are
That,
looking at?
you see, in Nigeria, right now, whoever is the vice president is an irrelevant position. If Atiku throws his weight, if Atiku picks,
Would you want
if Atiku throws his weight behind Peter Obi, if Atiku picks you, picks Frank, picks anybody,
So long PDP.
the person would win.
Just like JP Vance. Who
Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's not so that person becomes not
So it's
not
going
so
to-
relevant.
Just like Osibajo.
Would you hold on? Would you
As at
want
the time.
a Peter Obi to be VP to Atiku in case he says and the coalition says, "Oh, you want it to be VP?"
Do I want who to be what?
to VP anyone?
Would you want Peter Obi to be VP to
Atiku.
Atiku? Because that is what the coalition.
Some people are. You on Twitter?
So-
That's
so-
what people are.
Yeah. No, I see it a
It's
lot.
X, formerly known
I
as
see.
Twitter. It's X, formerly known as Twitter.
I see that thing.
Sorry,
a lot.
Elon.
And here is my take. I don't think it is right for you to take the
Prerogative.
the wheel
Okay.
of the vehicle and hand it over to a conductor and ask the driver to go down and start collecting money.
Who's the driver of the conductor?
So the driver here
Clearly.
is Peter Obi.
Okay.
The
So who is the
conductor
conductor now?
is Atiku.
Why you
So-
can't, no vex? Why you can't carry that? in?
Highlights.
Hold on. I mean,
No, it's the coalition.
yeah. So here is why I said Atiku is a big politician. He's very big. in Nigeria.
Waziri.
He has the money to
Does he still have
hold
the
on now. He has his-
You won't. Where you carry the money go?
Let the try Atiku.
Don't play with it like that. though.
Money
I know that
deal.
Buhari's people try
Money
to.
deal.
All right, go ahead.
So he has the political weight, right? But Atiku does not have the governance.
He doesn't have the governance, the grace, and time is not on his side. Let's say it
You
as it is.
get so when you now say such a person, all because he's politically, it's like in my area there are some guys that if you call them to bring out 300 people for you, they will match them out. But you cannot say because this guy has this crowd, and then I should now step down as a House of Rep member and then allow him to run. No. Atiku has the crowd. He has the money.
What kind
Right?
What kind of crowd?
When you say crowd, he has the money the electorate to pull people. Do you understand? But we are looking. We have done this thing over and over again. Nigeria keeps looking for who can win election. they will not look for who can govern. We should stop looking for who can win election. All these politicians that are defecting from one party to the other, they are trying to win election. They are not trying to govern you. They are not trying to make your life better.
Nice point. Nice point.
So Atiku has the weight to win election. He does not have the capacity to govern. He is going to be 81.
Would you like to see an LP NNP coalition?
LP, NNP,
Not Kwankwaso now.
LP, NNPP, SDP. If all parties want to come together, including the dying PDP, if they want
What
to
is
come
dead
together,
may never die.
So including the dying PDP, if they would want to join everybody and form one party, me, I'm in for it.
All right.
But as long as Peter Obi is the presidential candidate,
Thank you.
we are good to go.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Salako. Well, anyways, my own unlikely ally. I don't care what anybody says without being Peter Obi and Natasha, because why not? Wait, Senator Natasha Akpotsi. Leave that, because now we have two Natasha, so I have to specify which one of the Natashas I'm talking about. That's my Natasha.
Is that a coalition?
That's my own person, whatever. Whatever. That's because I have a bias with Natasha, so. And besides, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to just see somebody, but I know that
You should be tackling her, not me, though.
that it would be nice. But
for all
anyway,
it's worth, a vice president of Nigeria. I don't know about any other country.
not my Natasha.
Is-
Not my Natasha.
Is,
That's why.
But I think even Natasha.
so it's not about. Do you know it's not about Natasha? It is about the constitution.
Well, not my Natasha, not my daddy, because I don't want to be biased.
The
I like him
constitution does not
too.
give room for you to function as a vice president.
But we've seen
unless
them they want to
until
be security people and economic people.
Atiku was a functional and powerful vice president. We even heard that there were rumors in 2003 that
He had it
OBJ
Presidents
had
kneel
to go
down.
and beg him and kneel down.
Does OBJ look like somebody that will
For
beg
what?
on herself? They believe some kind thing.
So,
More.
Does you
See.
really believe with OBJ with all his some kind of rumor? I'm not supposed to really believe.
Wait now,
Even
my brother, even though upon
Even
still,
at that.
yes, even though upon still, OBJ goes to kneel down, it is for him to win election, not to govern. Those are two different things that we are not paying attention to. You will do anything, you will, take anything, you will just to win election.
that's a special education structure for the Nigerian citizens. And
Anyways,
Yeah.
but well, we're already at the top of the hour. I wish this could continue, but
Thank you so much.
Maybe
you'll
we'll bring.
be back.
Well, let me have it soon.
Yeah, just take one for the team. After you put on the table, you do have to
So
take.
that it doesn't
You do
look
have
as
to.
if we gave you poison. You are trying to
But anyways, thank you so much, Ife, for coming on the show.
It's good to
You owe me. I don't know about them. I speak for myself. You owe me Amala though.
Oh,
So,
I initiated it, why you remove it?
I don't care for you.
But you already told the business and friendship are different.
I don't care about you. You have a mic. Ask him.
We can do that. That doesn't
So-
stuff. You know what we're talking
Ali
about?
Moshe.
It's different. Though.
Ali Moshe.
So let people. You want to push her?
So you owe, and I think I can speak for myself and the guys at the back row. You owe us Amala.
Yes.
Three of them. Especially this one you quantified his height with. You have to pay him back. But anyways, this was a good talk. Thank you so much for going in depth with us. Thank you for coming on the show. I hope you guys listened and learned a thing or two. This is the part where you like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is the Real Shareholders podcast, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.